Hello, Marky Dragon, also known as Marcus Eikenberry in real life, and happy 4th of July to everybody in the United States of America. It's, of course, the celebration of our independence, and, you know, I've got quite a lot of fireworks going on here. I'm out on Ocean Springs Beach, and behind me is Biloxi, and this is the Ocean Springs Bridge over here. Now, I've got a lot of more than just fireworks going on around me. There's also a lot of lightning going on around me, and so who knows, might get an extra special show. So I was actually, let me just tell you a little story, and it all ties in with 4th of July. So those are some big rumbles. And so I just bought a lawnmower, and I was really thrilled because I bought it on Amazon, and I got it for like $80 less than we went and looked at Lowe's and at Walmart, and so I got it for 80 bucks less, and I got free shipping, free second-day shipping, because I'm a Prime member. And I was telling somebody that I got this lawnmower and that I ordered on Amazon, and it reminded me of that I used to have these big 4th of July parties at my house in Portland. And we had a lot of fun. The ice cream truck is coming. Can you hear it? It was one year where we had all these big fireworks and everything. And what I'm getting around to this is that, okay, my neighbor across the street, he is Korean. And he him and his wife were in concentration camp in World War II, and it was an American concentration camp because they looked too much like Japanese. And so I was repeating what they had told me to someone about how he used to take immaculate care of his lawn. And in fact, he had all kinds of really neat things. And what it all ties around to with the lawnmower is that his lawn was always perfect. His place was like the ultimate garden all the time. And it was pretty cool because I gotta watch out for fireworks while we're going on here. So it was the ultimate garden. And what I mean by that is that he even had, you know, have you ever been golfing and on the green and seen, you know, the short little grass and everything? Well, he had one of these lawnmowers that I saw on Amazon while I was, searching for my lawnmower, and his lawnmower was $1,000. And it was just a little lawnmower. It was one little blade, the rotary blade. And anyway, so he kept his lawn immaculate, just perfect all the time. And he had told me, you know, I had been over there to talk to him several times because I always found it fascinating, and he was a really nice guy. And the house that I lived in Portland, I actually moved to in 1977 when I was 7 years old. And I lived there, and I actually bought the house from my parents, and I lived there until a year and a half, 2 years ago. And so I have very fond memories of them being neighbors. They had always lived there because they bought their house right after World War II. So you see, in World War II, I had mentioned that they were in a concentration camp, an American concentration camp. And they were incarcerated for 2 years. And it was because they looked Japanese. Not that they were Japanese, but because they looked Japanese. And so, anyway, they were given, I think it's called remuneration. They were basically given payments from the U.S. government for the time that they were incarcerated, or held captive, or whatever you want to call it, in the camp. And basically, they lost their freedom. It was just as if they had committed a crime. And it was just that the United States was too afraid of them. Didn't understand back then the difference between Korean and Japanese. You know, maybe it was just that all Oriental looked alike. So they were all treated alike. When in fact they actually don't all look alike. There is differences between all of them. And so after they were released, they were given a payment when they were released, and the payment that they got was enough to outright buy their house. My house there, by the way, at one point was worth about $450,000, and it went down, in the Depression, and I think it went down to about 310 to 320, something like that. But anyway, way back in the late 40s, early 50s, whenever it was that they got their payment and they bought the house probably only cost $5,000 or something like that. Something really cheap. I'm not really sure how much, but it was just really cheap. Anyway, they bought the house with that payment, and so that was pretty cool. They also got another payment later, and that other payment, I don't know what they did with it, whether they invested it or not, but they always seemed to be comfortable, and I think they retired early. I know that he worked for the post office, and so while he didn't serve our country in the war, he did do civil service, here. Wow, that's all that deep rumble, that's all lightning. Makes me wonder how wise it is to be out here. So anyway, the getting back to his lawn and his garden. His lawn was always immaculate, and it was actually one of the years when we had all of these illegal fireworks and we were shooting all kinds of stuff off, and something big landed in his front yard, and let's just say it continued to burn. And I felt so bad because we actually burnt a hole in his beautiful lawn. So anyway, it was quite exciting. At the same time, I felt quite bad for him, and but he was always very gracious. And he didn't give me a hard time for it. In fact, I offered to pay to fix the lawn and everything, and it was almost like he was a little bit excited that he was going to have some repair work to do. So, anyway, all of you in the United States celebrating the 4th of July today, I wish you a lot of fun and a lot of fireworks and very few burnt fingers. I'm Mark the Dragon. Take care. Have a safe 4th of July, everyone.